All right, guys, we got almost 4 inches of rain last night and dirt work has come to a halt. So it's time to put some new shoes on the old excavator. Andy, for a second. All right, Matt, before we put tracks on this thing, we're gonna have a little chat.
Yay.
Yeah, don't you like chat?
I do.
So I had a comment on my other videos. I don't know which one it was, but the comment was, and this was on the skid steer, they said, OMG, you need to replace your tracks. They have a crack in them. Oh, you want to know my thoughts on this?
These are a lot worse than the skid steer.
You want to go throw money in a ditch? Have at it, dude. Do you think I care if that track has a crack in it? I care about one thing. Well, two things. One thing is it needs to go round and round.
Stay on the machine.
And it needs to stay on the machine. So, before we put new shoes on this thing, this is what we're gonna do. I bought this machine with 20, what are we gonna call it, 2,200 hours. It's 22 something odd hours, okay?
Yep.
And these tracks looked like that whenever I bought it. This machine was owned by a guy that did concrete demolition, and these tracks were chewed up. It looked like this whenever I bought it. I don't know how you can see, there's big pieces missing. And I bought the machine, everybody's like, oh my God, you gotta put tracks on, you gotta put tracks on, you gotta put tracks on. I'm like, why? They still go around, the machine still moves, they still do what they're supposed to do. I don't care if it's got a little blemish in it. So, how many hours does the machine have on now?
34,324.
So how many hours have I put on these tracks since I've had them?
12,300.
No, it's not 12,000. This machine only had 12,000 hours on it, mathematician.
Oh
my
goodness.
goodness.
It's 34,32. I didn't see the decimal place.
Well, you're really helping my mouse scenario here, but.
Let me say it differently. 3,432.
So we
put total hours currently.
So put like 1,200 hours on it?
1,232.
So let's just, for simple math, let's just round this up to 1,200 hours.
Yep.
So on these old, wore out, cracked, blemished tracks, I put 1,200 hours on it. I've had this machine for about 4 years. This machine don't get near the hours on it. The big machines does.
So with what you do on those new tracks, you're gonna get 6,000 hours out of them.
That'd be nice.
If the machine
So
lasts that long.
we're getting there. You're getting ahead of ourselves. All right, so Matt.
Yes.
So if we charge $85 an hour for this machine, and this machine runs at 60% profit, what's our profit per hour?
$51.
$51 an hour is what this machine makes profit. After you pay an operator, you pay for maintenance, and you pay for fuel. That's roughly what this machine makes, is $51
You
an hour.
make 60% profit? That's pretty good if that's what you make.
I do all my own maintenance, it helps.
I understand.
All right, so $51 an hour times 1,200.
61,000.
You try and tell me my old wore out tracks made $61,000 in profit?
Basically.
So if those tracks cost me $2,500, how many times did these tracks pay for those?
A bunch.
Well, divide it out. Let's find out. You got a calculator.
How much did you say those were?
They're roughly $2,500 plus some tax.
24 points.
So my old wore out tracks paid for those things 24
times. Yeah.
So
almost 24 and a half.
So if you were a businessman, what would you do? Would you replace your track because it had a crack in it, or would you run it and pay for the new ones 24 times?
I'd probably run these a little longer.
Well, Matt, all good things have to come to an end, my friend.
These are pretty bad.
So this is what started happening here about a week ago, is these are the crossbars that the cog here runs in, or the sprocket. And usually once one pops out, it's got friends that want to...
Let's give them a visual.
Yeah, right there. So here's one missing there.
It goes here.
So usually once one pops out, then you start putting extra stress on that one, which is gone too. And then it's just a chain reaction of bad news bears.
Domino effect.
So anyways, this is my take on it. I've had these tracks for a while. I had them in storage, knowing that these could pop at any minute. And somebody's gonna say, oh my God, you're gonna be broke down on a job and you got all this downtime, Matt. I can't remember the last time I did a job that had $61,000 worth of downtime over about an hour. That'd be never.
No.
And it's a rain day. What's it gonna take us? Maybe, I mean, if we take our time and shoot the crap, it may take us an hour to change these tracks.
I was gonna say a couple at most.
It's gonna take an hour.
Your phone rings a lot.
Well, this is true. We should rephrase, an hour of actual working time. So that's my take on rubber tracks in the undercarriage for that fact, for any point. You gotta be prepared for a breakage if you're gonna do that, but you can see from the math, it makes pretty good sense to keep her on the old girl. So, all right, enough talking about why I got old wore out tracks on the machine. Let's
hour time frame. This is just eating at it, you know.
I'm talking to my people, man. Let's change some tracks. First thing we gotta do is untension the old ones. All right, so first step, why are you being so needy today? Right, running around the rain and you come in here and want petted. So needy. You're so needy. Can you sit? Can you sit? Good girl. Good girl. Getting sidetracked. All right, anyways. So, first step we need to do is untension the track.
Take the cover off.
Yeah, got the covers off. So inside here, it's just like all modern equipment. There's a grease cylinder in there. There's a grease zerk in the end of it right here. I don't know if you guys can see right to there. We gotta take that loose. It will relieve that grease pressure. Then we'll take the machine itself and shove that back. So you got the tool to release?
I do.
I had a flashlight at one time where I could get a really good video of this. I have no idea where my flashlight's at.
Oh boy.
Don't break it off. Oh yes. Go a little bit more.
It's coming out.
Yep, see the grease coming out? That's what we wanted. All right, so now we'll take the machine and we'll shove that roller back.
See the slack in the track starting right here. All right, everybody, what he's gonna do is he's gonna take the bucket, he's gonna push on the tip of this roller, and what you'll see is grease start coming out of this hole, and you'll notice that this gap gets smaller and the track will actually become slack. See the gap leaving there, and you can see the grease coming out here. Pushing dirt out right now.
All right, guys, we got the track loosened up. As you can see there, we got plenty of play down there. So I'm sure everybody goes about this different, but what we're gonna do is, I don't jack it up real high off the ground, just high enough to where it'll clear those bottom rollers. And we'll get a pry bar in behind it right here. And as Matt holds a little pressure on it, I will track forward and it should squirt that track right off there. So, hey Matt. Hey Matt. We need the big pry bar for this.
Oh, big guy.
Yeah, it's, hey Matt. It's over
there?
It's over there.
So you didn't put the tools back where?
No, this one's back where it belongs.
Oh, the big.
Yeah, see this one here, like,
The hoss.
now Captain Kleeman's not even enough of a man to use that one. So, well, I mean,
Is that bin supposed to be there?
that's what happens whenever I use it.
Yeah, whatever. It's when you use a piece of equipment to use it, maybe. You gonna go backwards or forwards?
I'll go forward, I'll go in.
Let me get on the other side of this then, just in case. Ready? Yep. Wrong one.
All right, guys, we got the track off. I'm sure, why didn't you pressure wash it? Well, because I didn't want to. It's raining this morning, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get muddy either way. So we got the track off. Matt's gonna clean a little bit up. I am not going to replace rollers or sprockets. The reason why I'm not going to replace the sprocket, if it was a dozer or a skid steer where you're using the track to push a lot, they wear quite a bit. On this, you're just traveling around. They show minimal wear, so we're going to run with it. I'm just going to do kind of a little check of all the rollers, make sure they're all still good, and make sure we don't have any issues. That's not good.
I don't think that's supposed to happen.
I don't think that happened yesterday either. Fortunately,
It's like it's a little warm.
that's why you keep spare parts around. So we'll put a new upper roller on it, and then the rollers, they're really easy to change. You untension the track, 2 bolts out, drop one in, drop one out. I usually run them until they're done, and then I'll change them out. If it was a dozer or a skid steer or something, I'd probably swap everything at one time. But doing what we're doing now, we're just gonna replace parts as needed. So get this cleaned up and get that roller swapped out and put us a track back on. You're doing great, Matt. You're doing good, bud. You're doing good. All right, guys, these change out pretty easy. There's a nut here on top that's split. Throw me a wedge in there. That easy. Now, something I hardly ever use on my channel, anti-seize. We are going to put a little bit of anti-seize on that down in there. Not going to get carried away with it. We'll put a little bit on there, so next time Matt has to change this roller, he will not be cussing. Slide that in there, like so, and our bolt goes through.
You want to put anti-seize on that?
Yeah, we'll put some on the nut. Take that back out. We don't need that. Give her a little tappy tappy. There's a groove in that roller, so gotta get that bolt in that groove. And there's some old gunk in there.
Oh yeah, that's gooder. A new word for you.
Gooder? Oh, don't worry. I make up words on this channel all the time. I have a feeling a year from now there's going to be a dirt perfect dictionary. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
Both.
All right. We're going to tighten the nuts down, throw a track on. Okay, so we got the roller on. We've checked everything else. We're all good. We're getting ready to put the tracks on. One problem I got is these are directional tracks. See how these are angled right here? So these need to point towards the front, which is that way. So basically, we're gonna have to He-Man this around. This track needs to go like this before it goes on. Not all tracks are directional, but these are. So,
Man, it is.
well, we do have a crane.
This is very true.
We could work smarter, not harder, as SOT Metalworks would say. All right, we got this in position, oriented the right way. I got that up off the ground just enough that'll slide underneath there. We'll put the back on first, and then do the same thing in reverse with the fiber on the front. Should work great.
Those don't slide near as easily.
New ones are heavier than the old ones. Let's roll it. All right, guys, track's back on. So now we're tensioning her back up. You can go ahead and start pumping her now. Everybody does everything a little bit different. Every manufacturer's got a different spec on this. But I like to tension it to where it's got about 1.5 to 2 inches of gap down here at the bottom. If you look close, you can see it. See it starting to tension up.
About how much grease does this normally take, Mike?
About 1/4 of a tube on this one. Bigger equipment will take more, but this one take about 1/4 of a tube. See it starting to tighten up down there.
Daylight underneath.
Daylight underneath. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. I'd go just a little bit more. All right. See, what I like to see is those rollers still stay engaged just a little bit there with that, but you don't want it too tight. And once you get her up there, we'll fire it up and do a quick spin around. Listen how smooth that is. Mucho quieter. All right. You know what's next, don't you? Her side. All right, one side down, one side to go. Let's go time lapse style on this one. See how fast you can work.
You'll look real fast on time lapse.
All right, guys, there's track number 2 on. That went pretty smooth. Couple things. These are aftermarket tracks. Skid steer and other things, I'd probably buy factory tracks, but on a mini excavator, I'll get away with the aftermarket. These are IRT tracks. I think they're supposed to be pretty good tracks. We'll find out. Time will tell. But one thing, these here are not just for looks. These are basically considered mud holes. So if you get mud down that sprocket rolls around, it'll shove that up out of there. And one other thing I want to mention, I had an accident one time. I was working on a oak case dozer and I was taking the track loose, and somebody had bottomed out the grease piston, and whenever I cracked that thing loose, there was so much pressure on it, it actually injected grease into my thumb.
Nice.
So just kind of be careful when you first take those loose, especially on a piece of equipment you're not familiar with. But over here, I'll show you guys, we got our money's worth out of these tracks. You can see how this bar here came out. Then it makes this one start coming out. Then that one comes out, that one will come out, and it's just a chain reaction, and it ends up not good. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the track swap. We got 2 bolts to tighten down. Hopefully all my rambling made sense. And we're gonna get back, put this thing back to work.
I just really like, and I hope everyone notices, the great big black grease spot on the tip of your nose.
Do I have one?
Oh yeah.
That's stylish.
You've had it there for about 30 minutes. Not
Thanks.
the answer I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, you're a real friend there. Real friend. See how this guy, I swear, hard to find good help. Guys, don't forget to like us on Facebook and Instagram. ShopDirtPerfect1.com for all your good stuff. Tell them bye, Maggie. Come here. Tell them bye. Say we'll catch you on the next one, guys.